Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, Miyazaki Mansai. I made a video describing Liverpool's tactical approach against Fulham. That H-roll, didn't it? No longer did I put that through. The Trent, the news was revealed by Pep Linders. Yep, tweaked his knee ligaments. Ouch, out for at least 3 weeks. On the run back against Martinelli, I think Emirates got this kind of sloping pitch at the side. He stumbled and jarred his knee. I'm surprised he played on, to be honest. But yeah, that puts into question, did Conor Bradley really come on because of Martinelli's effect against Trent, or to nullify him, or was it enforced? I'd like to think it's a bit of both, really. But Conor Bradley showed how reliable he is, and therefore, could he be coming into the team? We always need a cup hero, right? And we're overdue one since Takumi Minamino. These are really cheap, by the way. I wonder why. 500 yen. About £3? No, it's about £2.50, isn't it? So it's time to revise our approach and tactics against Fulham FC in the Carabao EFL Cup. This actually changes our whole demeanour, our tactical approach, because some things that Trent does can't be replicated, not just by the Liverpool squad, but by people in world football. I'll give you an example, and this video is talking all about what we need to do in the upcoming weeks. But saying that though, missing Bournemouth for sure, missing Fulham for sure, the return leg against Fulham, that is a nice little fixture list for Trent to miss out on, because they're not the most crucial top of the table clashes. Therefore, he could have a little rest for the upcoming run for the season. Obviously, it's not really a rest. He's going to recover, do a bit of rehab as well. He's going to miss the FA Cup, no matter who we draw in that one as well. And it looks like Chelsea or Arsenal will be his long-awaited return. It won't be long-awaited. 3 weeks isn't that long in the grand scheme of things, and the break is nicely timed, because we really need him for those big matches. He is the difference maker, because I like to refer to Trent Alexander Arnold as a bishop in chess. Bishop, long diagonals, he can go long, any direction, and behind the lines you can hide him behind the pawns, and he can break the lines and go any direction, and also he can fork the king or pincer someone, or get the ball right into position to make sure that we get the win. Trent Alexander Arnold is a bishop, but nowadays he's evolving more into a queen. I really hope that he becomes that fully fledged queen, because him in and around the penalty box area, or just in the right half space, even on the left channel for free kicks, he can make the impact be devastating when he's in and behind the lines as well. So that's really crucial. He needs to be our Liverpool queen. Yeah. So let's start with the Fulham formation first and foremost, and what we're looking to do with Fulham without Trent Alexander Arnold. Now I see clearly two options, one of which I think will happen, most likely will happen, very likely will happen, and one which would be a surprise, but we did bring this kid back just for the occasion. So I think, in absence of Trent Alexander-Arnold, having passed his audition and having been name dropped by Pep Linders as well, Conor Bradley goes into right back. Right, he was solid against Martinelli, showed his defensive nous as well. He is absolutely solid, determined, great composure, and every single Bolton fan said that he correctly was their player of the season, because he basically was standout. Even though it's League One, and thank you in the comments below for letting me know where Bolton were placed, even though it's League One, you can fall down to the level of the team that you're playing for and just be one of the crowd, be a fish in the bowl. But he stood out, he shone, because he has the quality and something about him, and he's a valued part of the squad that I think now's his chance. Similar to Wataru Endo when McAllister got injured, you need the opportunity to show what you got, to give yourself the platform, to G yourself up, to really introduce yourself to the world, and this is Conor Bradley's chance, right? So Conor Bradley at right back. The alternative to Conor Bradley being here is going with our trusted right back backup, Joe Gomez, at right back, which leaves Owen Beck, record from Aberdeen, performing outstandingly. Natural left back, left footer. Makes a lot of sense, because then you have a very, very strong back line just needing to protect Beck, and who's on that side with him? Virgil van Dijk. So that makes sense as well. But Conor Bradley has one key factor as to why I think he starts ahead of Owen Beck. He's been training with the team for longer. Owen Beck has only recently come back into the fold. Owen Beck is a natural left footer, would give us the balance on that side as well. Conor Bradley has been training in the system. Jurgen Klopp has been giving him the mentorship, the training. He's been playing with the squad, the team, the backline, offside trap, the pressing, the pushing, the traps. That is the reason why I think Conor Bradley starts, as well as being name dropped as well. Let's put him on pitch, respect his full name, which puts Gomez at left back, because Gomez is reliable, steady Eddie. He's played there for a few weeks now, and it actually helps to give him a bit of exposure to left back, because he needs to be a utility defender and keep fit, because he's been outstanding this season. Similarly, Van Dijk comes straight back in, because we need him. In the absence of Trent Alexander-Arnold, we're going to need him. Conor Bradley, youngster. Gomez, not the most natural left back, but solid enough. Athleticism. Van Dijk now becomes the main distributor. So this puts into question our goalkeeper, because initially Caoimhin Kelleher, cup keeper, first leg of a semi-final, give him the opportunity to shine, because if he makes mistakes or anything like that, you can remedy it perhaps in the second leg by going extra strong and going all out and gung-ho. Alisson Becker is our second main distributor behind Van Dijk in the absence of Trent Alexander Arnold. Will Alisson play here and therefore hit the balls out? Now, if Klopp has given his word to Kelleher that he will be his cup keeper, I didn't play against Arsenal in FA Cup because, we need to get through that round. Arsenal very tricky. One of the hardest matchups in world football, especially at the Emirates. If he's given his word to Kelleher, Kelleher will play. Kelleher will play, and Kelleher's quality, and I think Kelleher can do a good job. If he hasn't given his word, then it's a tough decision to make, because if we get massively ahead at Anfield, we can take it slightly easier at Craven Cottage at Fulham, in the knowledge that we can bring on the big boys and big guns if we so need them. But saying that though, would you therefore play Kelleher in the second leg at the chance that they could come back, and without Alisson in the sticks there, with the momentum shift, it's a risk having Kelleher there for the whole match? I would say Kelleher starts this, because once again, you can play Alisson in the return leg if things kind of balls up, and you have him for the whole duration of that match, and you expect us to turn it around, turn him over at their ground. At least you'd hope so. So I think Kelleher does start this one. In the absence of Trent Alexander Arnold, the inversion, I don't think Conor Bradley inverts into the 6 pivot, similar to Trent Alexander Arnold dual sixes with Destroyer protecting him and shielding him. I think he's more of a traditional fullback, going up and down the line and bombing, because he's what he's more familiar with, right? I don't know his passing range. Someone tell me whether he's got a great passing range or not, or whether he can pass through the lines. Or I see him as more of a traditional fullback with a decent cross, a solid in defence, bomb up and down the line, high energy, high tempo, high pressure. So do you therefore put Konate there to protect him? Once again, I think it's the first leg effect at home at Anfield. We need Konate for the big matches upcoming, especially Premier League. Maintaining the momentum at the top of Premier League is more important than losing a first leg in the Carabao Cup. Therefore, I put Quansah here, and saying that, I have full... I always put Quansah. Quansah. I have full faith in Quansah, because Jarell Quansah is coming to prominence, and you heard his confidence in the absence of Joel Matip. Some people took it the wrong way. Yeah, I was planning to overtake him anyway, and that's just confidence, just young exuberance, right? You want to take opportunity, and you want to just say, look, guys, it's unfortunate how I got this opportunity, but I got the opportunity, I'm going to take the most of it. That's basically what he's saying, right? Quansah comes in, solid, reliable. 10 men against Newcastle, and Quansah stood his ground. Fantastic. And Van Dijk's there to marshal more. I think this is solid enough. You know what? If you wanted a defensive, proper defensive 4 at the back, doesn't get more defensive than this. This is quality. Even if you introduce Robertson, right? Robertson's a great defender, by the way, very plucky. And you put Trent back in. This is super defensive. That Conor Bradley is like super Flanagan. Flanagan only had a hard tackle, and that's about it. And that cheeky chappy face. I don't want to go into his kind of personal life thing. That's for another day. But yeah, this is a very, very defensive lineup, and it's solid. It's solid. Imagine if Alisson was behind him. My goodness, clean sheet. But anyway, Endo's back up. Well, I already told you in the first video, going to be majestic, sexy McAllister, because he is our number 6 in the absence of Wataru Endo. Who else you put there? Possibly Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones could go right back, but no, you're doing disservice to Conor Bradley. This is his chance. Let him have his chance. McAllister goes in here. Gravenberch is going to be penned in as well, for reasons said in the previous video. I won't do this tactics for too long, because I want to go into the kind of tactics that Liverpool as a whole need to display in the absence of Trent Alexander Arnold. And on the right side of midfield, initially I put Harvey Elliott. I'm still going with Harvey Elliott because he's got great pressing statistics. McAllister, Gravenberch and Elliott is formidable. Their quality, they're on the fringes of the first team. Obviously McAllister is part of the initial first team. Elliott's probably first sub to make a real impact. And it's going to be a similar lineup up front. I still think we will go with Núñez. Now, it's debatable whether he starts on left and up front here, and I'll tell you why. Now, this is one of the effects Trent has. Let's just put a hypothetical Trent on the pitch here. Okay. When Trent is on the ball in the right half space, or as the quarterback position, or the 6 pivot, right? When he can swing that ball in and behind there, Núñez pins the defender back. Even Núñez starting from deep has all the way to run in. As soon as that ball is played there, right, the opposition have to drop back. So straight away, every single player on our team can push up 10 meters, 20 meters, whatever. They can push up and congest the field of play, because now the defensive line has to fall back in line with the defender following Núñez. They can no longer play an offside trap in the traditional sense, and they have to defend from deep, which means we won't be caught offside and we push the whole game and congest the whole game into their half. Now Trent facilitates that because his ball is good enough nearly always good enough, with enough backspin to keep on the pitch, allowing Núñez a run of steam to get onto the ball, to not allow a quick counter attack. It won't go straight to an opposition where they can counter straight away. It won't fall short in this area, which is suicidal basically if you're trying to play that ball and we push up as a team, because then they're right on us and we're out of position. We can't play our own offside trap. We're caught high up and they can play in behind us, right? So without Trent, we lose the opportunity to pen them in that sense, unless of course it's Van Dijk doing it. Van Dijk can do it in a similar strategy, and because Van Dijk is here and Kelleher's got pretty good distribution as well, we can still employ that tactic. But without that long ball there, Núñez gets forced into taking the ball in this kind of position, right? This kind of left side half space here, where he's not the most proficient, but he's plucky. He works hard and he protects the left flank as well. And he has a bit about him. He actually has a bit of tech as you watch his close little shimmies and footing. It's quite good. He's not the most prolific at that, but he's decent. But overall, physicality, pace, attributes, play him there. Which leaves Jota the slot in the middle, because he's our most reliable source of goals if we get a half chance, because he's got all types of finishes and he's got game intelligence. But the most important thing is he's got composure, experience, and he's a little bit older as well. I said Lucho Diaz because we need a bit of a wild card, something that's unexpected. Now, when you have this lineup, this is very interesting, because if Conor Bradley does therefore bomb forward and does the overlap, go in and around, I believe Lucho and Elliott will interplay amongst themselves here, and it'll be very, very fun to see all the interplay. If Conor Bradley goes around the outside, does Elliott go into the right wing space, and Lucho becomes the kind of playmaker. Now, this isn't ideal, because what you're leaving is Quansah and Elliott defending this channel, but Quansah's shown some good attributes on the kind of wide spaces as well. He likes to bomb it forward too, so it'll be a very, very interesting mix and match. I think McAllister most likely will have to protect the right flank more so, and Gravenberch will play a bit deeper than usual. But when you have this attacking threat here, it's very, very nice. It's an opportunity for the classic Liverpool style, the 4-4-2, the 4-3-3, the 4-4-1-1, any way you want to name it. It allows the fullback to bomb on and overlap, and who better to facilitate that than our right-sided playmaker, Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott could start high up as well. It could be very interesting. Sometimes you see Klopp employ an almost 4-2-4 formation, something like this. Now, do you trust Gravenberch and McAllister to hold the midfield? It's okay if you're playing predominantly down the channels. So if Gravenberch, Gomez and Núñez do this side, and McAllister, Conor Bradley and Elliott do this side, once again you've got Van Dijk giving him the freedom to be the Trent, the quarterback, the playmaker who plays the ball. Quansah is going to cover for Van Dijk, and then you have this kind of shape here which prevents counterattacks, because you've got a lot of bodies in front of the positions, but you also have the opportunity to play your little triangles out wide as well. A lot of movement from Jota and Lucho. Lucho can take it in all spaces. Jota's actually pretty good in small spaces collecting as well, and always the outboard hit it into that space for Núñez to run onto, which pens him back as well. So I think this still gives us a lot of tactical variation, but without Trent's playmaking abilities, it just means that the build-up may be slightly more patient or slightly slower. Saying that though, I'm still confident that we have enough quality in this squad and in this lineup to win, and we still have secret weapons, Gakpo for example, to come on as well, and Troy Inyoni, how do you say his name? Nyoni? Someone tell me how to pronounce his name. I think he possibly may come on the pitch. If we get ahead, if we're closing the game in the lead, hopefully he makes his debut. He deserves it as well. He looked like a hot talent. So that's what I think will be the lineup in absence of Trent Alexander Arnold, who we dearly will miss and hope he comes back soon. But just for Trent, Liverpool fans in Japan, we won't be able to sing it for this particular match, but Trent, wherever you may play, when you're whipping a ball, it's a goal all day. So no matter what the haters have to say, your scowl's heartbeat and you're here to stay. Yay. We call him Torrento because that's how you pronounce it in Hiragana, right? You only got those certain words to use. And I think Owen Beck is likely to make his appearance to give us balance on the left hand side, maybe to defend the lead, for example, left footed, left side halved. We might close into a 3 at the back with 2 wing backs on a Bradley and Owen Beck, for example, shut up shop. We'll see what happens. It'll be very fascinating. We're at Anfield. We've got to attack them. It'll be very good. We've still got attacking flair, creativity, top-notch talent. A lot of these players could fit in and around our first team anyway. Come on without hesitation. You remember Alexander Arnold coming on against Man United? Yeah, fantastic player. This is Conor Bradley's chance, and I'm sure he's going to take it. Conor Bradley's more experienced than Luke Chambers anyway, and Luke Chambers played a full game in Europa League, so all good. Now, without Trent Alexander Arnold, the options become very, very interesting. Now, I would argue that there is a case to put Curtis Jones at right back. Not for this particular game. I think Conor Bradley deserves this game. But if Klopp feels that he's found something really with the inverted right back going into the midfield space, if he finds that, and let's put our first team lineup in here just to demonstrate how this all works. Okay, so you're probably proposing. I think you're looking at something like that, right? As a starting lineup in a Premier League in the toughest games with who we have available, knowing that Szoboszlai will come back very, very soon. Harvey Elliott is always favoured on the right hand side, cutting in, dictating with his left foot. Now these 3 are ballers. Okay, actually these 4 are ballers. I could even make it a 5, but not to the same extent. He's more of a physical powerhouse, cutesy in his technique. But looking at these guys can get the ball in any position on the move, play the ball. Now, if Jones inverts into here, which you have the classic shape that Trent does as well, cutting out. Now look at this. Okay, Curtis Jones plays there for England under-21s. You have 2 rapid flying wingers who can receive the ball comfortably and make things happen. Wide playmakers as well. They can tuck in and be a wide playmaker. You've got a roaming menace in Núñez who likes to play over the top and in behind. McAllister can play the ball in behind, but Curtis Jones is more like the kind of short ball game. But these guys can roam and flex. They can flex into any position, which allows the parting of the seas to get McAllister high up to thread the balls in behind for Núñez in the kind of Trent role, because he's actually pretty good at threading balls in behind. He's unfortunately not had the chance to roam and play in a slightly high up role because we've needed him in a deep position to receive under pressure. But Szoboszlai as well, when you have Szoboszlai and Elliott here, perhaps you play deep, you play keep ball until you get an opportunity to get Szoboszlai and Elliott within shooting range, because Elliott being able to cut in, Lucho causing threats out wide, Jota here as well. You have 2 shooters on the outside as well, so you bypass the midfield in this kind of effort, and with Van Dijk hitting it across or McAllister hitting it out wide, you progress. You get your kind of progressive shape intact here, and what you try to do is spread the pitch as wide as possible, stretch the defence as wide as possible, with Núñez helping out potentially, because then you have your dummy runners, you have your overlappers who can get in and amongst goal threats, goal chances. Still, if you're looking at this, it's the same as always. We have our overload on the right hand side because traditionally our finishers are better on the left hand side. We don't really have the heading threat, the back post threat from Lucho or Elliott or even Szoboszlai. I'd expect him to slightly do better in the air or head the ball, anything like that. But this just allows you a lot of versatility and options in terms of really distributing the ball and playing the ball. McAllister, Jones and Elliott are very happy to take the ball in any position. Lucho Diaz can operate as a one-man band, but with this triangle here, I don't think you're going to be taking the ball off them. They're going to play the little pirouettes, the little 1-2s, shimmy shuffles. They're going to be the olays. It's going to be good fun. And this side is power and physicality. Szoboszlai, shoot off both feet, very cutesy. Jota can help them out there. And if you really want physicality, ping it down the line to Núñez. He's got the space as well, or he can cut in. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. Can Szoboszlai play up high on the left as well? Because he can cut inside and shoot as well. Jota, very cutesy, will always make the leading runs, allow the opposition to have an extra fort, an extra pest around them. It just gives you a very interesting options, because this line here between Gomez, Van Dijk and Konate, pacey, powerful, defensive, communicate well with each other, game intelligence. These two receive the ball, game intelligence. Elliott and Szoboszlai, they're more attacking threat, goal threat, predominant in terms of their progressive play. Jota, an absolute menace, anything that spills. You could dirt ball a little bit, and I think this is a street ball tactic here, because you haven't got the finesse and the big game experience of a Mo Salah, and you haven't got the destroying attribute. But you look at this team, when they got the ball, it's a nightmare. And when you haven't got the ball, you've got a pressing monster. You've got a pressing monster who runs all game. Curtis Jones wins the ball high up as well. McAllister is decent. He's an extra body in there. He's not the best destroyer, but he does his part as well, because he does it for Argentina as well. He needs to, in that kind of flair team as well. Núñez works like an absolute horse, an absolute monster. Lucho never stops working as well, and Jota's one of the best pressers. So there's a lot of potential in this kind of lineup as well, and I feel this is probably what we're going to go to if Klopp wants to maintain the 3-4-3 formation. However, saying that, Conor Bradley right back, traditional 4-3-3, is very much an option as well, because I want to see what Conor Bradley can offer in attacking third as a traditional fullback, overlapping fullback. It'll be really fun, really interesting either way. I still fancy this squad. We've got so many injuries, like 8 first team injuries or something at the moment. It's ludicrous, it's crazy, but back Liverpool, we're quality, we're good, we're well on top of the league, we deserve to be, and the quadruple's still on. You'll never walk alone. Miyazaki man, Ichiban.